Okay, this is the last study under the AS chapter. Okay, under the social approach. Yeah, Pilavin et al. Subway Samaritan. So let's dive into it quickly. Right. There is the Kitty Genova case. Right. There's a young lady. All right, that left work in the middle of the night, and then she was going back home, and she was attacked by someone, an unknown person. All right, and she was killed. Okay, now the catalyst. This actually led to the study. All right, the brutal murder of Kitty Genova in 1964 sparkled a widespread debate about bystander apathy, all right, and the diffusion of responsibility. So it is assumed and believed that 38 people witnessed her when she was shouting for help. All right, although 38 individuals witnessed the attack, none intervened immediately, leading to questioning about why people fail to help in emergency. So, what do you think? If you find yourself in an emergency and then you are in the public, do you believe that people will help you or not? All right, you can watch my other video on Pilavin et al. All right, I showed some short video clips. All right, discussing around situation where people might be in need of help and the reaction of people. If you want to know if they will help or not, yeah, you can check that out in the other video. Okay, so aim and hypothesis of the study. All right, they investigated bystander behavior. Okay, bystander actually is someone that is not directly involved in an action, in an activity. All right, you're just there, you saw something, but you're not involved, you're not the cause, you're not the reason for it. All right, now bystander apathy now explains unwillingness to offer help. Okay, now, so to investigate bystander behavior, are they going to help? All right, how people respond to emergency in a natural setting, particularly on a crowded subway. Subway, okay, I don't know what you call it in your country. Maybe it's a train, okay, a subway. All right, okay. So number two, test the effect of variables. Pilavin et al. Hypothesized that factors such as the victim's appearance and the presence of a model would influence helping behavior. What do you think? All right. So there are other variables that could also influence the bystander. All right. Will they help if there is a model that is also helping first? Will they also want to help after that? Or will the nature of the victim, if it's a sick victim or a drunk victim, will it also influence how people will be willing to help? All right. So let's look at that. Independent variables. Now, victim's appearance. The victim appear either drunk or ill is sick. All right. Ill is also referred to as cane. All right. It can be referred to as either ill, sick, or cane. Okay. So victim race, we had the race also as a variable. We have both black and white victim to see if race can also be an influence. All right. Now, model behavior. The model, a confederate, either helped early or late. All right, we had early model and then we had the late model. Okay, or did not intervene at all. Just so if the model did not intervene, that is like no model condition, right? Okay, and then we have the bystander group size, which is also another factor, the size of the people in that environment. Okay, so if the crowd is large or the crowd is small, in the critical area, the exact location where the thing happened, and the train, in the subway, all right, will that affect if people will help or not, and then the time taken to help. All right, so dependent variable, time to help, which is the time taken to help. Another one is numbers of helpers, how many people actually offered help, and then the last one that was measured is the verbal remark. Okay, what are the comments made by passenger during the situation? Okay, so looking at the research method and design, it was a field experiment. The study was conducted in a natural setting, okay, because it was in a subway. And what is the benefit of that? It enhances ecological validity. All right. So New York subway, right? Independent group design. Okay, that is the participants were either in this group or in that group. Okay, so because the people were just naturally in the subway, so they never repeated the participants over and over again. All right, and there was no informed consent even. Okay, so different group of passengers were exposed to different conditions, either presence of a model or the white victim, the black victim, the sick, the drunk, different conditions like that. Okay, now sample and sampling method, it was just opportunity sampling. What is opportunity sampling? Remember, people that are readily available at a place and time. Okay, yeah. So participants, or let me say people, are the subway passengers, are the samples, and they were not even told that they were undergoing a study. Right now, the total number of 4,450 passengers participated. Okay, not intentionally, they didn't know they were participating, but then they were observed and their behavior were recorded. All right, so this is a very large sample, right? Yes. Now, procedure, we have four teams. Okay, in the four teams, we have two confederates who acted as observer and recorded data. Okay, so one confederate will sit in the critical area, which is a closed area to where the victim is going to display the need for help, and the adjacent area, which is the area where people can sit and still see the action, but they are not directly close to it. Okay, so so one confederate will sit there, another one will sit in the critical. All right, so then the other people we juggle the role of victim or model. All right, so one person will be act as victim, another as model, so making it four, right? Yeah, moving forward, we have the condition, we have the critical early. Okay, so the model stood in the critical area and helped the victim after 70 seconds. That is fast, 70 seconds. Okay, the model sat at the critical area and helped after 70 seconds. Critical late, the model stood at the critical area and helped after 150. So the lateness and early hours of the or minutes of the model now is 70 and 50. Keep that in mind, please. All right, now we have the adjacent early to and adjacent late. What is that? All right, the model stood in the adjacent area and helped 70 seconds early, right? This and this are similar because they are early, however critical and adjacent, right? Adjacent to stood in the adjacent area and helped after 150 seconds. Okay, yeah, seconds. Now the other one, the no model. All right, the model never did not help the victim at all, so it didn't do anything, it didn't interfere, so it's regarded as a no model. Now the result, helping behavior, spontaneous help, that is help without the model, right? Over 80% of victims received spontaneous help. Okay, so in the condition, 80%, over 80% of victims received spontaneous help. All right, so spontaneous help is when you actually receive help without being willingly. Okay, so the bystander actually willingly helped. All right, so and then the multiple helpers, around 60% of victims were aided by more than one person. Okay, so not just one helper, so like another person's support, around 60% of the situation. Okay, all right. Result, when it comes to victim characteristics, okay, the sick and then the drunk. Now, cane victims with a cane were significantly more likely to receive help than drunk condition. So this is the result. You can check the exact figure in your course book. All right, so in a bit, to make this thing very short, so I decided to remove the excess detail, right? All right, or you can also check my other video. All right, I discussed about the figures, the interpretation of everything there. So you can check the video. It's also there online. Pilavin et al. Subway Samaritan. Okay. Yeah. So for the cane victim compared to drunk victim, okay, cane victim received more help than drunk victim. What about the drunk victim now? Drunk victim received less help, suggesting that perceived deservingness influenced helping behavior. That showed that okay, they felt he is responsible for his action, so he doesn't need help as such, right? Compared to this person that okay, factors beyond his control has made him to be who he is, so people try to show more help in the situation. All right, now moving forward, what about racial bias? Okay, were people more likely to help the white victim than the black, or the black than the white? All right, now equal help for cane victim. So when it comes to the cane victim, both black and white received equal help. All right, you know, people help the cane victim a lot, right? Cane refers to sick, right? Do not forget. All right, this minimize racial bias in emergency situations. So people are not necessarily biased when it comes to racism. Oh no, racism itself is a biased mindset. Okay, when it comes to race, rather. All right. So yeah. So it's, when it's a cane condition, please, very important. people are not biased when it comes to race. Now, what about for drunk victim? Same race actually help. Okay, black help black drunk victim, and then white tends to help white drunk victim more compared to, although drunk received less help generally, but that was what was discovered. So same race helping pattern emerged with drunk victim, with black drunk victim receiving less assistance, okay, suggesting the influence of negative stereotype. So generally, white victim that are drunk received more help compared to the black victim. So the black victim received less help. All right. So there could be a bit of racism there. Also, when you check the race of the participants in the in the subway, all right, throughout the study, all right, there is a slight higher percentage of the white race compared to the black race. So the white race we had 55%, and then the black 45%. But however, the results should also show something similar to that average, right? But however, it's unfortunate that the black victim, when it comes to drunk settings, okay, they received less help. Okay, what about model behavior? Now, the early intervention, which is after 70 minutes, early model intervention slightly increased the influence of early helping behavior. So model was able to influence helping behavior, all right, slightly more. Okay, the model role, all right, the presence of a model, okay, compared to the late. So slightly early seems a little higher than the late. So when the model helps very early, people are also eager to help. All right, there could be something around the delayed time. The delayed time, people would have thought about something, right? Yeah, they could have given an excuse not to help. They would have formed an excuse not to help already. So even if the model is helping already at that time, so we might see a reduction in percentage of those that want to help. Now, what about model role? The presence of a model who intervened particularly early served as a social cue, okay, making it more likely for others to help. Okay, results, talking about diffusion of responsibility. What is diffusion of responsibility generally? Okay, when you're alone and then you see someone in need of help, there is a, according to this theory, you will want to help, right? Because you're the only one. But when you're about 10, all right, and maybe for example your teacher asks for help, please, I need the student to come and do this for me. So everyone in his or her mind will keep passing it. Oh yeah, you should go, you should go, in your mind. So no one is taking the responsibility. All right, so this person is expecting the other person to do the action, another is expecting another person to do the action, right? Okay, but if you're just the only one in the class and then your teacher say, please help me do something, all right, you might feel the responsibility. So that's the idea around theory of diffusion of responsibility. Okay, so however, this study, does it support that? Because when we have a larger group, there should be less help according to this theory, and then when we have a smaller group, there should be more help. Okay, okay, this study does not support the diffusion of responsibility. The study's finding did not support this, okay, which predicts decreasing helping with larger group. So that is a theory, but the results showed otherwise. When the group was smaller, all right, the help was smaller. Okay, and then when the group were larger, the help was also larger. So another issue came around the fact that, okay, maybe individual differences in the group now, it can lead to more of the helping behavior. All right, so it's led to an hypothesized larger group, okay, which I covered in my other video. You can check that out on Pilavin. Okay, excuse me. Now, the larger groups, surprisingly, larger group responded faster than smaller groups, suggesting other factors might be at play. All right, so result by other observation, or let me say other observations. Okay, they saw some participants moving away. In approximately 20% of the trial, passengers moved away from the critical area. Okay, let me just quickly explain what the victim did. Yeah, I think I skipped that. So when the victim, it's a four group, right? When they all enter the subway, the same okay, coach, when they all enter using different doors, okay, now the victim will move to the critical area, a particular area of choice, and then he will fall when they get after the seventh station. So the victim will fall, so the drunk will fall, the cane also will fall, but not in the same condition. Hope you know. All right, if it's a drunk condition they are playing, yeah, the drunk victim will I have a brown bag, okay, with a bottle in it, all right, and then I have the victim will smell of alcohol, all right. So at a particular point, the victim will fall, and then they will try to see if people will help. Okay, if it's a cane condition now, all right, so the cane also will come in holding a walking stick, all right, dressed in Eisenhower jacket, all right, and so the cane victim also will fall to see if people will help. Helping behavior is actually helping the victim to stand or helping the victim to sit, right? Okay, excuse me. Yeah, so the idea there is 20% of trial passenger move away from the critical area, possibly due to discomfort or a desire to avoid the situation. Now, what are the verbal comments made? More comments were recorded during trials where help was not immediately offered. So when they did not offer help immediately, there were more comments compared to when they helped. So if people were given the opportunity to think and analyze the situation, a lot of people might raise excuses and reasons, make comments that will not help them help. All right. So, okay. Now, particularly in the drunk victim, all right, people moved away and then they raised a lot of comments, okay, suggesting heightened anxiety or confusion. Okay, so you might also think, can you really help a drunk victim? What if he harms you? You don't know. Okay, conclusion: the high frequency of helping in a natural setting, people are more likely to help than previously thought, right? So, because there were more helping behavior, right? 80%. Okay, even in a crowded environment, people are more likely to help. Now, no diffusion of responsibility was seen in the study because the larger group helped faster compared to the smaller group. Okay, so factors influencing helping now, victim characteristics, right? It's a social situation, all right. So perceived deservingness, the after all, the drunk deserves what he's getting, okay, but the cane, you can pity him, right? Okay, helper characteristics, gender play a role with men more likely to offer help compared to women, all right. Also, same racing helping was also observed, especially for drunk victims. Okay, another one, arouser and helping. Arouser, the longer the emergency lasted, the less likely people were to help. I said that earlier. This suggested that people try to reduce their own arousal by taking action or by disengaging. Okay, all right. So they can actually disengage, or the arousal leads to discomfort. Maybe they just leave the space or leave the position. All right. And some people, because of, okay, yeah, I just can't bear this thing anymore. Okay, then let me help. All right. Now, coping mechanism. People cope with arousal in different ways, which can influence helping behavior, explaining the observed variation in response. So some people, after think, or you see a situation like that, and then it leads to a sense of arousal, discomfort in you. All right. So you might be able to find something as a reason not to help, right? Once you find that and you conclude in your mind, then people might seem to helpless. So the strength of the study, high ecological validity, right? It's a natural setting. It provided realistic context, enhancing the generalizability, the validity of the study. Right? Objective data were used, quantitative data, either they help or not, right? They counted that, and also the time taken to help, all right, was also recorded. Okay, increasing reliability and reducing bias. Okay, now weakness, there was lack of control. Don't forget, it's a natural settings. Okay, there might be other factors that are responsible for helping behavior. What if someone is in a hurry to go to a particular event, and maybe helping someone with that smells of alcohol could have, have an impact on the person, right? That could have been the reason, not because the person did not want to help. Okay, the field is, so generally there are different ideas around this. There are other controls that could have affected the study. Okay, ethical concern, yeah, there was lack of informed consent. The participant never knew they were undergoing a study, all right, and potential distress, because there was also distress by having the sight of someone fall in your presence. Okay, yeah, generalizability, New York City subway, all right, there is high level of let me say large participant. Okay, and then that could have included a variety of people, right? Different races, different people in different sectors. However, it is still limited as well, because we might have some categories of people, not even we actually have some categories of people that do not take subways, right? So those categories, their behavior are not represented in the study. All right. Another one is cultural difference. Cultural norms and expectations regarding helping behavior can vary significantly, making it crucial to consider cross-cultural differences. All right. So there could be a particular culture in the environment, in such environment in New York, that actually influence the behavior. What about if um, a participant had previous, or let me say, a experience that actually affected the helping behavior too? Who knows? Maybe something like that could have happened, all right, and that could have caused extraneous variables, right, affecting the result. Okay, so ethical issue, informed consent was participants were not informed. We said that deception, they were deceived. Okay, they thought they were so the person was actually sick, right? And then they thought the other person too was actually drunk. Okay, now privacy, the recording of participants' comment without their knowledge or consent could have it actually violated their privacy. All right. Okay. Application bystander intervention training. The study's finding can be used to develop bystander intervention training program, equipping individuals with knowledge and skills to respond effectively to emergency. Okay. Another way is promoting helping behavior. Understanding the factors that influence helping behavior. Those factors now it can inform campaigns, it can inform initiative aimed at increasing helping behaviors. All right. So you know that okay, if you want people to help, you have to use something like a early model rather than late model. Okay, if you want to help, be fast about it. Don't give people room to think too much. If not, the helping behavior might be reduced. Okay, so if you want to carry out a campaign on that needs to mobilize people to support the community and one thing or the other, all right, so you can adopt a lot of things around the study. Now, limitation, artificial situation. The stage nature of the emergency may have influenced participant behavior, making it difficult to fully generalize the finding in a real world setting. You know, the victim stage, they had a particular dress that they wore, they had a brown bag with the bottle for the drunk and then the stick. You know, if it's a real setting now, who knows, maybe they might have actually seen a real old person because they used young sample in the situation. Okay, not very young, but all right, they're still young. Maybe if it were to be an old person, we don't know what will happen. All right, so there is a limited scope. All right, and it's also in a train, in a subway alone, you don't know what will happen in real life itself. So okay, you can have this key takeaway. You can pause the video and then check them. Okay, so that is it. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm so happy I'm able to make it all the way here. All right, so please, I want to urge you, please subscribe to my channel if you've not done that. All right, it's actually possible for you to watch all my videos without actually subscribing, but please, before you leave, especially for this last video here on the AS level, please, I want to urge you just to go ahead and subscribe, okay, and like my videos as much as possible. All right, thank you very much for your support. I wish you all the best. Goodbye.